coming to your theater,
Yes.
reaching Broadway. Wow. Uh, what attracted you to theater, and how do you think stories can heal?
Wow, I could spend 8 hours answering this one. I absolutely fell in love with theater, and
Okay.
again, kudos, thank God Kranti happened to me because I was a 10-year-old girl. I came into
Okay.
Kranti on my ninth birthday, and then I've been here forever since. Um, Kranti, along with the curriculum that we already offer at the house, we also did a lot of tours in 2015, 2012, and
Okay.
2018, both India, Europe, and USA,
Wow.
where most of them were either funds or people had invited us to like perform on
Okay.
smaller and bigger stages with like up to,
Yeah.
we did a show in Hyderabad which made big on news, and it was like up to 6,000 7,000 people,
Oh,
which
amazing.
again we don't need the biggest crowd, we need
Ah.
the right crowd, but it to be able to stand on that stage and speak a story that it could has the empowerment to empower others. I think from a very early on age, I didn't understand what theater was or what I was doing, but I just knew that I was going on stage with my 20 other sisters and I was just acting. And I was basically it, even though there were so many people on like in the audience, I felt like it still felt so personal because I knew
Okay.
around me my sisters were on stage.
Okay.
So we started Kranti show called Lalbati Express, which luckily you can also find online. Find clips and documentaries that have been made upon on that. We did Lalbati Express, which was our lives, our mothers' lives, and everything that brings us to Kranti and where we're at in life, and then what comes next for us. And it's been rewritten and changed over the years. We were lucky enough to find a mentor and a theater director, Jayadi, thank you, Jayadi, who had done a great job in devising a play for Kranti that has been always this Kranti's baby that
Okay.
we've like had
Okay.
over the years. So I started theater with Kranti, and I was
Wonderful.
always, if you go online and find videos, it's always this one little girl amongst all 20-something-year-old girls, and it will be me. And I'd have so much fun doing that. And then I remember we've done this show like, come on, we've done it all across the states, like 27 shows, and then still we would do a smaller show somewhere, and then it would make me cry and bawl. And I remembered what that was because how closely I feel to the audience without actually even needing to know any of them. And I went back home, and Robin and I had graduated from India from a high school I went to, and Robin and I were discussing future plans, and I was like, oh, imagine if I did theater for life and I became incredible at it. And Robin was like, perfect. We can start looking into it tomorrow. We wake up. She was not kidding. She literally woke up the next day and she's like, I found 20 places that potentially you could go to with no SATs and this and that. And then we could also get great grants and scholarships on it. And I think it kind of like, you need that one person to tell you, like, oh, you dreamt of this? Fine, we'll make it possible. And Robin
Wow.
did that for me. And Robin is like, Chalo, like, let's see what these look so fun, and I'm so happy for you. And I was like, I'm happy too, but like this feels unreal. And we ended up looking for a lot of programs, and I ended up getting into Salve Regina University in Rhode Island.
Wow.
Did my 4 years of undergrad, which I just finished, in theater,
Yeah.
bachelor's in theater arts and psychology. In that, I found so much more there was to learn in theater. So much more. Like techniques wise, tech and sound and leadership qualities, and like stage managing or directing a full show and writing plays. But I think by my second year, I was like, I'm still missing something about it. I'm still missing that personal touch that I remember doing this show without knowing what theater was as a
Yes.
degree, and still finding that like fulfilling
Oh, okay.
meaning into it. And then within my 2 years at Salve, I was like, I talked to my director at Salve, and I was like, I've been doing this kind of work at Kranti, empowering work. What kind of theater is that? And she explained to me it's theater of the oppressed, theater for social change, and there's like literally categories that
Oh,
it fits
there are.
into.
Okay.
And we've been doing this our whole lives and didn't know a name to put
Then,
on it.
yes.
And luckily we found that, and I did a degree in theater. I remember I think going back to Broadway, I have been on Broadway, and it's a huge privilege for somebody like me to have come from where my background lies at to be on Broadway. But I remember the day I was on Broadway, I got out of the theater, we went to backstage where families and friends would meet, and I called Robin and I was like, I miss you all. More than that, I can't believe I've made it. I can't believe you've made this possible for me.
I know.
But this is my point where I also, along with that, realized Broadway meant nothing. Nothing in the sense that what
You're going on.
performing with other people and telling stories meant to me. Came back to Salve, started writing another play about voices of international students, started kind of digging into more of the old Kranti scripts, and I kind of knew. So I'm going on to the next steps for me is I'm going for a teacher's program at Columbia University in New York.
Congratulations.
Where I'm hoping that I can combine what called for me in theater, the storytelling, and combine the teaching and expertise of theater, and combine both of them, bring it back home. Work with other girls like me that might need the storytelling, that might need that power, that might need another person who's lived what you're living right now and can pull you out of it. So to me, all of that combined was so much of my calling is what I would say. And I just knew theater was going to be this thing that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah. And for people, Robin Chaurasia is the founder of Kranti. She's mentioning Robin a lot. So I'll just say Robin is just home for them, all these girls.
Definitely.
Robin, and she's such a huge support, I have to say.
Definitely. Yeah. She is the founder. She is the core of Kranti that started Kranti, along with many other staff members that we do have that we call home, we call family, we call mothers and sisters too. Yeah. But I feel like so many of us had our Robins in our life, and I feel like none of us would know what our lives would be if we didn't have Robin.
Yeah.
So Kranti and Robin, you can look her up everywhere. She's so popular.
Yeah, I know. And just listening to you and looking at you, what I'm thinking is that I think stage gave you a voice. It gave you something that you didn't have when you were growing up, I think.
Yes, I feel like it gave me that kind of power to own it, to own what I've lived.
You found your agency.
Because to find my agency, correct. Because I feel like growing up, as I was mentioning, the rejections that my sister got growing up, it kind of closed us off in a way that we were like, if we tell what happened to us, is it going to be the right person? Is it going to be somebody who's going to tell me, I'm so glad that you spoke to me and thank you, and I'm really sorry? Or is it going to be somebody who's going to kind of tell us, I'm sorry you went through that, but can you just like keep it between the two of us? Okay. And I knew that straight difference between the kind of people I found through theater and voice when I found myself on that stage. Because it's one thing to be on stage, to do what you can do as a talent, another thing to go and relive the lives that was the harshest parts of our lives. And I'm so thrilled and like inspired by every Krantikari and our future Krantikaris that will, I hope, make it to the stage like we did, to be able to kind of own that story. Because what theater does to us is not that it empowers us, but we've had so many people in the audience that are like thanking us for crying for them, thanking us for sharing our story, because now they know what to go out and do differently. They know when somebody shares a story with them to not reject them or to be like, oh, that must be tough, but to genuinely empathize with them. And theater did that for me, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, and I just admire, I just see, how articulate you are and how confident you are, and must be very, very proud of, what you've become, and just share, your knowledge. And that's again a big thing, that you plan to go back and then share this with the other Krantikaris. Like you're saying, that was very harsh, living a life here as a student, looking at the entire world, or a different space,
and then being a different one in the room. And
absolutely.
Why is that
Tell
always
me about
a
that
bad thing?
Yeah.
Why,
any challenges, in fact, you faced here in the
like
US?
Why, like I've had personally friends and family, like the kind of people I've made friends with growing up, it was really hard to understand the right and the wrong friends. And most of them were like, oh, it must be really tough you went through it, but I wonder why. Did you do that to yourself? Or like, why should I always feel the victim of it? Why should I be
Okay.
like, I've gone through it and like, bichari, Mahek.
Ah.
And that was really difficult for me to own up. But now I'm like, I'm not some victim of this. I am a survivor.
Yes.
So are many more out there, and so are many more through Kranti that are able to make it up there. And it's not always the worst thing to be different, because if I was never the different one,
Okay.
I would have never made it where I'm at. I would have never had the power to speak in front of anybody else, to kind of not only give my voice to them, but share that with the person listening to me. And I feel like people don't always take pride in that, or like not people don't always teach you to take pride in that, which Kranti
Yes.
does, luckily for us.
Yeah, very well said again. So, what you are saying, it's okay to be different, and it's okay to be unique. You just have to accept it
Yes.
and not be victimized for it, actually.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes, definitely.
Very well said. I really, loved that.
Because I wouldn't want any of this to happen to anybody else. But it does, unfortunately, the way this world works. There's
Yes.
so many more Maheks and Ranis
Yes.
and Shraddhas and Tanyas. Like so many more Kranti girls
you can
still
do
out
your
in the
bit.
world.
Yes. Yes.
But that the fact that I've made it here, and hopefully somebody across the screen is watching this, and that does something to them.
Absolutely. So, Mahek, like, you've reached where you've reached. You're still very young. You have a lot to give and a lot to learn and a lot to explore. What does success mean to you now in life?
Wow, success. Which answer do I want to go with? I don't know. I've had it, even though my life right now seems very like, oh, I've made this big success, but I feel like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I success is just making it for some of us, success is so simple.
Yeah.
Success is to have found a family after
Oh.
being heartbroken and disappointed by your own. Success to me is being able to still share a smile with another one in the room that you know have gone through so much worse than humankind can imagine sometimes. So to me, success is just making it. Sometimes to me, success is to be able to have chai time with my girls at Kranti. To me, success is going back to Kranti House and hearing the stories of the younger girls who are the age of when I came to Kranti, and then just watch them play, watch them do Kranti Jeopardy, watch them fail and then get back up because they know we're standing across them. So I feel like success to me, the way Kranti has like molded us now into this new person,
Okay.
is just showing up, being able to see what we've done for ourselves and for other people, and more than anything, to kind of be able to be a role model for the new Kranti girls, because I don't know what, like, being on Broadway did not feel like success to me in the traditional sense other would think, because I didn't have my family that was there this whole time in my journey with me on that stage.
Yeah.
So success to me is just being able to share space with other people,
I get that.
being able to be places and sharing room with other people who are willing to hear our stories.
Wonderful. What I'm learning again from you is that I think, yeah, I'm just sitting here and soaking it in. I think what Meg is trying to say is that success means a sense of belonging. You know. So, one more thing. When you look back to your life, anything or any event you'd like to change, or you're okay?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I know I'm gonna sound like this wise person maybe saying that, but no. Because sometimes, as I've already mentioned in other ways, is if I didn't have every event growing up, the good, the bad, the worst, I wouldn't be who I am today.
True.
I wouldn't be, if I was this person who had gone through this abuse and then was adopted into this really rich, wealthy off family, went to a school, I don't think I'd have the power to be who I am today. So when I look back, I don't think I'd change a single moment that I've lived, because I am who I've become because of everything I've lived. Every second I've heard my sister cry over the triggers she has. every time I've stood on that stage and cried because another person with me that's standing is becoming so strong to tell their story. But I know in the house when she goes back home, she still lives that some of that experience. So no, I feel like I wouldn't have anything I have today if I didn't have every moment of my life that I did the way it did. So no, I personally don't think I'd change anything.
Okay. Again, a very mature answer from a young girl, I'll say. And one thing you're most proud about yourself, most proud of.
I want to say to be able to not give up.
Okay.
Not give up on my life, not give up on being able to find family, and not being able to, not giving up on. There are transformation is possible, that there is possibility. You just need the right time and right people to fulfill it. So I'm really, really proud of myself when I look back to be that girl when my sister spoke to me about her abuse, to not give up on my sister, not question her, and kind of let life lead us where we're at now. Because sometimes I think in these hardships of life, it's so easy to give up, and some of the girls do early on, and they lose a life that could have been much more precious to them and to others. So not giving up is very difficult, and
Wonderful.
I'm glad I was able to.
Oh, wow. I could go on and all. Talking to you reminds me of this, I think a quote I'll say I read that, sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually you've been planted. Struggles make you grow. It was a quote. So, that's so apt for
That
you.
is
And
beautifully said.
Mahek, what can I say? I wish you the very best. And I hope to go to Dharamshala one day and visit Kranti. I'm from Himachal, and
Lovely.
so I'd love to. Any last words, and we'll go.
I think my last words are
Yeah.
to many more like myself, many more who've seen worse. It's just, I'm so proud of you. I am so, so, so thrilled that you've made it. And if you haven't, do not give up. And there's gonna be, like, as Dee said, like, every darkness is not what the quote said. It's a little bit of light you see, grab onto it, because there's a better tomorrow. And I'm really hoping that whatever I've done succeeded in life means something to you, in a sense that it pushes you to do something for yourself, to find your voice. It might be theater, music, writing. There's so many more opportunities coming up, and just find your voice and find the right people. And when you find them, hold on to them. Hold on tight.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Mahek.
Thank you so much, Dee.
Yay.
Thank you so,
Bye
so, so
bye
much.
and take care.